Hey, we're back with Real Agents, and we're going to do something a little bit different today. We're going to just kind of talk about what our weeks have been, because in real estate, it's an ever-changing environment. So without getting too much more into it, we've got some really exciting stuff. Joe, how are you doing today?
Today's great. I can't believe it's only Tuesday with all the good things that we have going on this week.
It's amazing. And Cyber Karl, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm out in Las Vegas for Tom Ferry's event, the summit. I come every year. Really excited to be out here, networked with some agents from across the country and across the world. It's really good to hear what's going on all over the place and kind of try to figure out what we're seeing and who's moving to Atlanta, who's moving out, and a lot of things like that.
So, like, it's all blackjack and hookers out there, right, with Vegas?
Have you been to sleep yet?
It's 5 a.m. here. I'm up, ready to go. I've got breakfast meetings starting in about an hour. So not a lot of fun. I mean, it's fun, but it's more, it's a serious work week for me. It's time that I really use to learn, to develop, my skills as an agent, and really network with people to get a full understanding on what's happening in, Portland all the way to Florida to New York, and how that affects us and everybody I'm involved with in Atlanta. And it's a good week to kind of get a temperature check on what's happening and how I can attract more people to buy and sell in Atlanta with what I know from across the world.
Yeah, it's really neat. I have not been to a Tom Ferry event yet, but it's definitely on my list of things to do. So, like, you're going to be doing a lot of role-playing sessions and stuff to?
So this is, Tom Ferry's more, it's a bigger picture type thing. So there's a lot of world-renowned economists that they bring in, the chief economist for Zillow. One of the head salespeople for Salesforce spoke last year, Chris Voss, and who has a really great book. So there's multiple different things. Awesome. Yeah, it's you get to learn a lot about the big picture, the macro type things going on, as well as developing skills and some other things like that. So it's a big kind of spread of whatever you want to learn while you're out here. It's a lot of opportunity to focus in on social media or different things like that kind of fits what you do as an agent.
Yeah.
It sounds exciting. I can't wait to hear all the great things when you get back too. So.
Well, I'll have notebooks full.
That's incredible.
The things that you can share with us, yes.
Yeah. Real estate's changing. I know that you had a really busy day yesterday because you actually caught a late flight to be out in Vegas, and now you're having to get up before the sunrise to be on the show with us.
Watching the sunrise right now behind me.
Yeah, you actually had 2 closings yesterday.
Yeah, but I actually pulled off the hardest thing in real estate, the back-to-back same-day closing.
Yeah.
I think that's something that more people need to understand, how incredibly difficult it is to buy and sell your home on the same day.
Yeah.
And this is what these people, they had to do. They were downsizing, and there were some constraints with the seller and some other things like that, where we had to have literally a 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock closing at 2 different attorneys' offices, which makes that incredibly hard.
Mm-hmm.
But
one of them wasn't smooth. You had a complication with one of them.
So that's what people need to get when you're doing a back-to-back buy-sell. You have 4 different parties involved. You've got a buyer and seller from the first, and a buyer and seller from the second. So if anything happens on that first, it really can mess up the second and push things back. So it's incredibly important, especially as agents, us 3 are agents as a whole. When things go a little rough or things, go out of control, which they will do, it's real estate, it's going to happen, to really work with one another, to communicate well and make things happen, because it can take, a moderately bad situation and make it much better when all the parties are really talking, communicating, working.
Yeah. You had one guy in particular that got real hot because he, and it's a tense situation for the parties. That's what professionals bring to the table, is
Absolutely.
The ability to be the calm, cool, collected, kind of disassociated third party that can moderate. And from the story that you told me yesterday, it sounded like you aced that, like did it perfectly, because if you were to get hot, you lose control of the situation, and you did exactly what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And I know that you didn't want to, but you did.
It's hard, but I also have to take a step back and realize that these were over $500,000 homes on both sides. So it's a lot of money, and it's a stressful experience for everybody. I don't care how smooth a transaction is; it's still stressful for somebody that may only do this 2 or 3 times in their life. So I always take a step back. It's easy to kind of get hot-headed, and react, but that's, I think, part of our job sometimes is to be that punching bag, to take those hits and just kind of absorb them in and let people calm down a little bit, use that as kind of that pressure relief valve so we can continue on and ultimately get the job done of getting the homes closed and transferred to the buyers.
Yeah,
absolutely. Great job on that, Karl.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The can I tell you guys my cat story?
Please. Yeah.
Okay. So
Is that what you were doing all week with the cat sound?
Yes. So I have a really interesting situation. You guys know that it's kind of like you pick a side and that's who you represent, right? So like in this case, I'm representing the buyers, and typically buyers and sellers never meet each other until the closing table, and that's kind of by design because we're trying to make sure that emotions get controlled and that everybody feels like they're being communicated with in a very respectful manner, and it's part of like arm's length transaction, which I'm not going to go into right now, but that didn't happen in this deal. This deal, during due diligence, I wasn't able to attend the due diligence like I normally was because the property was out in Cartersville and I had a conflicting schedule. But that was fine because they were with my preferred inspector, and I trust him to take him through. But also the sellers decided to stay home during the inspection.
Oh, that always is fun.
Yeah, Karl, you list a lot. Would you ever advise your clients to stay home during an inspection?
Of the issues that it can create, I will say, when somebody is picking apart your house like inspectors do, it can be a hard thing to watch. It can be a hard thing to hear. And it can really create a very emotional situation. I've seen it really cause problems. So no, I mean, as
get them out of there in most cases, yes.
So anyway, they met, and thankfully, they actually ended up becoming friends. And the sellers were moving to Kansas. They have 3 cats. One of them, they were only able to take 2. So my buyers had expressed how great this little cat was, named Stormy. Really, really cute cat. And the sellers asked my clients, would you like to have the cat? And my buyers were like, oh my gosh, yeah, thank you. So anyway, I got notified of this, and I decided to have a little bit of fun with the listing agent because the listing agent had no idea that this was going on. So I call up the listing agent, and in my most official voice on purpose is, hey, this is Casey from Century 21. I just want to let you know that the inspection went really well. We have the inspection report, and I'm preparing the amendment. And I just want to let you know that the sellers expressed interest in transferring the cat through the close of the escrow of the property, along with the sale of the property. And I was wondering if there was any particular way that you'd like me to word that. And it's just stunned silence from the listing agent, followed by just maniacal cackling on the other side at the ridiculousness of it. And so anyway, I had a transaction where the cat conveyed with the sale of the property.
It was beautifully how you worded that on the amendment too. I have to give you kudos for that. That was well worded.
There's nothing like asking a very high-level professional partner for a law firm for specific language on how to put that into a contract. I believe the consideration, which consideration is payment, was we did the consideration of love and affection.
Oh, there you go.
On the bill of sale, but that was a great deal. A really sweet cat. I have so many awesome cat pictures from that transaction. I'm going to be doing my own kind of video series about it. But Joe,
yes.
You've been real quiet during all this. I mean, no cat stories, no crazy trips to Vegas or anything like that.
Yes.
What's your week been like?
Actually, it's been exciting. I have been setting up meetings with several local businesses in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I'm really wanting to help get more people out there. These are the places that have stayed open, that have been available for takeout.
Yes.
They're starting to open up more. These are also contractors and business owners and workout places, just a lot of different businesses. And I want to help spotlight what they're doing so people in our community can do things. So it's been a lot of fun reaching out to them, and then they're excited about this project. And
I think that we should do an episode of real
On-site?
agents
Okay.
at some of these
Okay.
establishments, maybe with
I think that would be great.
Maybe with a libation or two.
Okay, we can do
involved.
that.
Karl, do you drink beer?
I do drink beer. That is
Okay.
Look,
definitely
if it's
an
for
affirmative.
work, you know, I mean, I
Yeah.
know sometimes you have to do things that you may not normally
Absolutely.
do, and,
Yep.
and for the betterment of all, yes. Then, you know, if we need to do some day drinking,
Yeah,
then, you know.
I like this idea because I like being a member of the community. We all do.
Exactly.
I mean, it's really important for us to support the communities that we live in, and we all come from pretty diverse communities,
Yeah.
different kind of things. There's a lot of overlap, but we all kind of have like our little communities that we kind of cater to. And I would be, I'd love to invite you guys into my community.
Okay.
And if you'd allow me to
course.
kind of join with you guys.
Absolutely.
And kind of explore, you know, what's going on with the stores that are and how they're surviving and how they've altered themselves through the experience of what's happened in the last couple of months
Absolutely.
with COVID.
I think that'd be a great thing to
Karl,
be able
what
to
do you
help.
think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that means I have to venture outside of my bubble, so that's a good thing.
Well, I mean,
Especially to
you're in
visit you,
Vegas,
Casey.
so I don't think you have a problem with that.
Yes. We don't expect any video footage from Vegas. It's okay. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe the next episode
Sure.
we
We'll
can
get that
put
set up.
that together.
Yeah.
Anyway, this has been a great episode.
It's been a lot of
Real
fun.
Agents. Yeah. And we will see our audience back next time. And thank you for tuning in. Bye. This is Casey Sears.
This is Karl Phillips.
This is Joe Eamon.
And we're the Real Agents. Thank you so much for watching our content. Please subscribe, turn on notifications, and tell a friend. We look forward to bringing you more in the future, and talk to you soon.